Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to Xbox Chaturdays. It's your boy Miles Dompier, joined by the burnt toast baked beans legend himself, Jez Corden. How you doing on this Saturday evening for you, but morning for me?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm sleepy. I just got a nap in because I didn't want to be too tired for doing the show. So, but you know what? I'll nap a bit and maybe I won't be so dead for when it actually comes to
Oh,
streaming. Because then I
yeah.
got podcasts with Rand as well there.
I
So
see you're stacked. You got a stacked Saturday.
yeah, I'm really busy, busy boy.
Busy lad.
But
So yeah, today we're going to be talking about some Xbox Series X impressions, the confirmed kind of optimized list of Xbox Series S and X titles. I figure we can talk more about the Bethesda drama that kind of keeps going on, and a bunch more. But we're also going to be playing Grounded as well today. Going to be smashing some bugs, which you and I have never played Grounded together. I know you're a big Grounded lad, but
yeah, I am. I haven't played it so much because I was kind of waiting for more updates and stuff. But so I've been playing it sort of, you know, rarely. But it's had some pretty good updates since it launched, and probably getting some more for Halloween and stuff like that.
ooh, for the spooky season, that's kind of where I'm at too. Like I love the game, I love the concept, but I have this bad habit of like grinding early access games when they're super early access and then having no desire to play them like when they're finished, like full games. So like I don't even get to enjoy the full experience because I've just beat the early access into the ground.
Mood.
Vibe.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll start a
I
new game here. We'll...
Okay, cool. I had to delete my cloud saves because they wouldn't sync to the Xbox Series X for some reason. So
What? No.
yeah, I've had I always have this issues because I got saves on so many different Xboxes. Like they wouldn't sync to my other Xbox One X either. So Jez
Really?
sounds like he just woke up. It's because he did. He did just wake up. So you'll have to bear with me.
All right.
Yeah. So people were asking why we didn't do a show last week.
Oh yeah, I guess we can do some house cleaning to start the show off. So, as you can kind of see, I'm still rocking the sling. So last week we didn't do an episode because on Thursday I went under the knife. I got a little surgery action going on for a displaced collarbone. So for like a week and a half, my collarbone was kind of sticking up out of my arm a little bit. So they had to take a metal plate, put that on top of my shoulder, and then basically there's a bone down in here, and they took some wires and a screw from that lower bone and basically tied it to that plate to kind of pull the bone into place so that it heals. So I don't have this disgusting weird bone sticking out of my arm forever, because they told me that was an option. I could just leave it. I could just leave the bone poking up and it would eventually heal, but I was like, no thanks. I'd rather have the bone in place. If we can do that, that'd be cool. So yeah, I was on a bunch of drugs and kind of just laying in bed for about 4 days because it was pretty gnarly. I posted. I didn't want to like blatantly post the pictures online, but I put a little thread out like asking if people want to see pictures, and I posted like my incision wound on Twitter. If you're curious, you can dig and check it out. But it's disgusting. It was a lot bigger than I thought. So, but I'm not in a lot of pain. Just gotta wear a sling until November 11th. So the day after the Series X launches, I get my sling on. All right, let me invite little Jez to the game. So yeah, that's why we missed last week. A little special circumstance here, but oh yeah, Jez is appearing offline. Ooh,
Oh right, we
ooh.
fix that. All right, I should be online now.
Effing nuisance. Appreciate that. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us on this fine Saturday. But yeah, pain level's not bad. I'm just taking ibuprofen at this point, so it's kind of whatever. I have to like accommodate, so I have a pillow on my lap here so I can like support my controller in my lap. All right, you're online now?
Should be. Can you see me?
Let's see. The legendary Jez has appeared. I don't. I'll find you. I'll find you in the friends list. So, Jez, are you playing Grounded on your Series X right now?
Yes, I am. I am indeed.
Oh my god. So I know they haven't officially put out like the update, but that's supposed to be one of the confirmed optimized games. But this is a game that also has an uncapped frame rate. Have you noticed any performance differences on the Series X?
I haven't tried this on the Series X yet, so this will be all new and interesting. So let's see what it looks like.
Because yeah, on the One X, it fluctuates. Like there's times where I'm hitting 60, but it's definitely not consistent. So yeah, I'm definitely curious to see just out of the gate how this runs on the Series X.
Yeah, we're not allowed to stream games from Series X yet, which is why Miles is streaming. Also because I can't be bothered. So
also because I don't give a.
Oh man, you're Pete. Oh, so I have to be maxing.
Oh yeah, I had to kind of like filter my friends list a little bit. I had a bunch of people that I used to play like Gears 1 and 2 with, like on my friends list, and I went through a couple months ago and just started purging. I was like, I literally haven't played a game with this guy in like 10 years. Do I need him on my friends list?
Oh, they've changed this area.
Have they? Jez? What?
Yeah, there's a footprint here.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That wasn't here last time I played.
They did do some little tweaks with the Halloween update. There's some new landmarks and some quests and a few little. I know there's some like kind of spooky stuff. I haven't explored the Halloween update actually.
Is that a dog footprint?
I think that is
a cat or something.
I don't know. It's either a dog or a cat is what that looks like.
Yeah, there's footprints all over the place. That is
foreshadowing, bro.
Scary. Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
That's scary. I'm scared.
I'm spooked.
I suppose they can do stuff like that, like all these dynamic events and stuff when they actually get the game out of early access.
Yeah, I'm really excited to boot this up for the first time on the Series X and kind of see, because stylistically, this game looks great. Like even on the One X, like the foliage detail's not as high as, because I've played it on PC and One X, but even on the One X, this game looks incredible. Like unique art style, great dynamic lighting. I'm really excited to see like long term, like what this looks like with kind of fully integrated ray tracing and stuff like that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to. The resolution seems to. It's not 1080p, but it's not fully 4K. I think it's something like 1440p or something. But the frame rate is totally rock solid 60 on the Series X.
Oh yeah. One day I'll be able to experience that. Because even on PC right now, it's not super optimized. So getting 60 on my PC, and I have a 2070 and a 3.4 gigahertz quad core, even with those specs and like 24 gigs of RAM, it's kind of like I have to play it at 1080p if I want to get like full 60, which is kind of annoying. But
are you playing on PC then right now?
I'm playing on One X right now.
All right. Isn't Xbox 2 on tonight as well, Aman? Yes, it is. If Rand is able to make it, then yeah. We didn't do it yesterday because Rand had to do something. I don't actually know why we didn't do it yet, but I haven't asked him. But yeah, we couldn't do it yesterday because Rand had to do something else. So hopefully we're gonna do it today, whenever Rand comes on.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah, and that'll be on Rand_Thor's channel. Rand_Thor_. No, Rand_Al_Thor_19. Man, Rand's brand is like hard to say.
It's based on a book, right? Like it's based on a book series or something?
Apparently. I don't read books.
Nerd!
Randolph Tomato. Oh
That's his
yeah.
new brand. He should just officially change his name to that because his social media presence
Okay.
is forever ruined. Forever tomatoes.
I got the Randall tomato socks.
I saw
Did you
that.
see that?
I unfortunately did see that. How much did those
Man,
set
that
you
was
back?
like
25,
they were like
25
they were,
USD?
yeah, they were like $25 to troll.
Damn. Committing to the
I'm
bit. I love it.
I'm dedicated to the trolling.
You got poor Rand. I just see him on Twitter every day, just waking up to a new meme or a new tomato dancing animation. Also, shame on the people catering to you and animating all these tomatoes. I keep seeing a new one every day, and it cracks me up. I'm like, who is taking the time to animate this? We got 97 peeps. Dang, thanks for hanging out. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Feel free to share it out. Let's see if we can get to 5,000 people in here.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, start at 100, jump to 5,000. That's how we do it on WCG. What do we got in the chat right now? We got Chris Burnow, It's Too Late, Masuku, Murder Mittens, Clay Phillips, V Simcoe, Snowdragon. Let me read off all 100 names.
Man, what are these gnats doing? They're just like they've changed their behavior. Just flying aimlessly into the wall.
Just dead inside. They realized how useless they are, and they've just accepted their fate.
I can't actually. They move too erratically to hit.
What am I doing with a rock? How do I... Okay, it's been a minute. I'm trying to remember how to play this game.
You have to... You have to... Oh, we gotta unblock these lasers. Alright. Oh, the characters are talking to each other. It's interesting. So where's the other light coming from? Okay, I remember what we're doing now.
Okay, I'm glad you remember, because I gotta remember how to craft. I gotta... Whoo!
Scruffy, this is not the... I'm playing on Series X, but Miles is streaming off the One X. We're not actually able to stream from the Series X, I think, based on the embargo. I could be wrong about that, actually. Maybe I can stream.
Somebody
from
was saying
One
that
X.
Tom Warren was streaming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I thought after...
Oh, maybe the embargo lifted then.
Yeah, I thought... Yeah.
Okay, that's my bad then. Maybe we can stream from the Series X. I'll, maybe next week I'll stream then.
Yeah, we got to get the Series X stream going, dog. Push your internet to the limit. Let's hit that 4K 60.
Well, I was actually looking at getting my internet speed upgraded so I could do more streaming stuff.
Yeah, I don't have a gig up, but I have a gig down and like 50 up, so it's decent. I wish I can't get faster upload where I'm at, which kind of sucks, but 50 megabits per second is good enough to stream most stuff. Test that filmic internet connection. All right, so yeah, Jez, what games have you played on the Series X that you're allowed to talk about? Any obviously we did the comparison to Monster Hunter World on the channel. That's one we've seen kind of out and about because that's one of the kind of uncapped frame rate games. But any other standouts in your kind of experience with the Series X so far?
I think I can talk about everything now. I've played Gears Tactics. I don't know if I can talk about the game or whatever, but Gears Tactics looks absolutely stunning on the oh my god, I'm in combat with something. Why is there oh, it's a Might. I'll just beat him to death. 1 sec. But yeah, I played Gears Tactics. It runs amazingly well. 60 frames per second, ultra settings, 4K, just looks stunning. Also played Gears 5 as well. It looks absolutely stunning as well. Ray traced. It's more like ray traced surfaces, which is the main thing that you notice. Is that there's just everything looks a little bit better. Um, I think like there's still I think there's still optimizations to be done across the board with the Series X. Like in terms of developer tools, like Unreal Engine probably needs updates to get like some some of the extra juice out of it. But it's the start of the gen, right? So like games always kind of look better towards the end of the gen rather than the start. But we'll see how it goes. I'm kind of interested in seeing how games
Oh,
like Watch Dogs Legion and Assassin's Creed Valhalla look, because they supposedly do have unique optimizations for Series X.
yeah, that's
Um,
those are the games that I'm really interested in. Assassin's Creed, especially since they kind of like showcase like a little example of what that's going to look like and kind of the optimizations for that. Um,
yeah,
because I don't know if you've looked at the PC requirements, but on PC it's definitely not optimized well. Like that game is super demanding. They want you to have a ridiculous rig if you want to do 1440p 60. So I'm curious to see what the benchmarks of the Series X kind of look like with that game in particular, because it seems like it's going to be a beast.
yeah. I'm not sure like if they've announced the specific uh, extras you get from that, but oh, that's my axe.
Throwing your axe around. Oh, I need to pick up some more pebblets.
Any rumors I've heard says GMH 500. Rumors about what, mate?
There's always rumors. You just
Um,
got to sift through the garbage.
yeah, there's a lot of like fake rumors flying around. Like I've seen,
The Mexico
a
event.
s yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. And also I've seen people hyping up like some tweets that, you know, I've had people have been DMing me saying like, "Oh my God, has Microsoft bought Ubisoft and has Microsoft bought Rockstar and stuff like that." It's a lot of
Yeah.
these, yeah, a lot of these are just clout chasers, but nothing especially, nothing jumps out at me as like realistic right now. I think Microsoft's just focused on getting the Xbox Series X out the door in a polished state. Um, I have no idea if they're going to do another event. I would
Yeah,
think
because there's
they
like the
probably
Fan
are.
Fest. Like, so typically they have the XO tied to Fan Fest, and I think that's where a lot of people are kind of like stirring up these rumors or like trying to like take these text leaks as kind of like evidence, because that's typically how it works. Is you have XO and you have Fan Fest kind of around the same time.
Yeah, I guess so. Um, Binny Bick, thanks for that super chat,
Super
mate.
chat hype.
Any ray tracing news? Drives ready yet for the Xbox Series X? So this is interesting because like I've heard that ray tracing is in for some engines, but not for others. For example, Unity engine. I've heard that ray tracing isn't ready yet. So games that run on Unity, like The Long Dark or God, thinking of
There's
a
quite a
Unity game
few.
off the top
There's
of my
like
head.
Human
There's a
Fall
lot of
Flat. I want to say is Unity as well.
yeah, I think it is. There's a lot of games that run off Unity, um, and I don't think the ray tracing. I don't think the ray tracing solution is implemented in Unity yet. So, I mean, this is just what I've heard. I don't know. I'm not a dev, so take that with a pinch of salt. But yeah,
With
I
a
heard that Unity's
pinch of
not in yet.
salt.
Yeah, it's a tiny little pinch of salt. Um,
Do I have access to a Series X prototype? No, I don't. I do
Des always
not.
sounds like he's just laying in bed. Yeah, I literally just woke up. Like I had a little nap because I knew I had to podcast later with Rand and
Take a little
do the
power
show with
nap.
Mars. Yeah, I took a little palm out. I'm just waking up right now.
Do they have
It's
bangs in the
Saturday,
UK?
man.
Is that a
I
thing?
really need to take more breaks. What'd you say, Mars?
Do they have bang? Like it's like this weird like
Bang.
bodybuilder like energy drink type thing that we have in the US. It's just called Bang.
Man, a lot of your energy drinks are banned in the European Union on health grounds,
As they
so
should
probably
be.
not.
It's basically like a super, like, I think it's 300 milligrams of caffeine and then like creatine and a bunch of other shit. Like, it's the ultimate like get
Yeah.
jacked, get hyped. So that's what we need to start feeding you before we go live. Start feeding you some Bang.
Like
Just be out of your
all
mind.
those all those like gamer fuel type drinks, they're all banned in the European Union. All
Dang.
of them.
That's why people in the UK just aren't as good as at gaming, right? Right?
But it's weird you say that because it's usually Europeans who beat Americans in all the Blizzard esports tournament. Best guild in the world's European for World of
I mean, for
Warcraft.
World of
And
Warcraft, though, that's old news. What about Fork Knife, Jez?
fork knife. What's that?
It was
Oh,
Fortnite. A terrible joke.
oh.
Terrible dad joke. I need a Windows
Oh.
Central Gaming hair tutorial for Miles, and this is with one hand, mind you. So I'm doing the Dark Souls of hair maintenance right now, one-handed, bro. So keep that in mind.
Jeff Grubb, said yesterday he heard that Xbox event could be true, plus another studio being bought could also be true. And yeah, I mean, this stuff
Yeah,
could be true,
absolutely.
but I haven't I personally haven't heard anything specific. Sometimes like I hear things last minute, like the Bethesda thing, for example.
Like 5 minutes before it
Um,
happens, just shit, get ready.
yeah, like I heard the Bethesda stuff about a day before it happened.
Oh, dang, you sitting on that for a day? Didn't tell me? Okay.
Well, I didn't sit on it at all. I got out of bed at 3 in the morning and started writing it up. Because I suspected Jason Schreier would probably have something on it. If I knew, I
Yeah.
guessed he would probably
Somewhat,
know.
yeah. People in the weeds, people in the thick of it. And Binyabik, any progress on female guests and cooperation? Yes, actually, I've been emailing back and forth with a few people, so I won't say anything until stuff's officially confirmed. But yeah, there's a couple in the works that should be in the very kind of near term. Just got to get on everyone's schedule. So progress is happening.
Ponty says the rumor is that Amazon and Tencent are secretly looking into buying Rockstar. There's no word if Xbox is looking to acquire them. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of money being thrown at big publishers right now because a lot of companies are waking up to the fact that this gaming thing is serious business and it's not just like a flash in the pan sort of thing. Like, it's funny that it took so long for a lot of companies to notice this. Like, it wasn't too long ago that gaming overtook movies and music combined as the number one form of entertainment in terms of revenue.
Yeah, it makes more
And
money than and pretty much any other
yeah,
form of entertainment combined at this point. So
yeah, it does. And it's just funny to me that it took this long for companies to notice and think like, oh, you know what, we should be in that business too. And so you've got like I know that Apple is exploring making the next version of Apple TV more video game console like. So they're gonna want to look into getting their own studios as well. And Apple have a ton of money to splash around. And Tencent obviously has a lot of money they want to spend, and they already do. They're buying stakes in lots of companies, including like the likes of Blizzard and stuff like that. I have no idea if Microsoft's looking into buying Rockstar or not.
I feel like that
I would
price tag would be
suspect
even
that,
spicier than Bethesda.
yeah, it probably would be, Um, I imagine that buying Bethesda is almost more of a defensive move than anything else because someone was going to buy them up. Like the way ZeniMax has been behaving in recent years, like forcing them to make games like Wolfenstein Youngblood and stuff, kind of shows that they were sort of looking
They
to
were
just
prepping
make
to
a
sell.
profit.
Like their whole
Yeah,
business
kind
model
of.
was like shifting around, like proving that the games that they make are profitable, and you know that became really obvious. So it was, from an outside perspective, it was easy to tell that ZeniMax as a whole was less interested in making games and more interested in kind of like selling.
making money. Yeah.
Oh god, there's
So
a
like
stink bug.
they were trying to like with games like Wolfenstein Youngblood, which just had like needless microtransactions and were just low budget as possible while also ramming the games with microtransactions. It's kind of like it's what a lot of businesses do in the run up towards selling. Like, frankly, even Windows Central did this. Like when Windows Central, I don't know if I should talk about this, but I also don't really
Oh no,
care.
I'm calling the
But
cops. Shut it.
in the in the run up to because Windows Central, we used to be independent, and in the run up to Windows Central being picked up by Future, our business model shifted to make as much money as possible, and that it kind of felt like they were preparing for us to be sold. And when the announcement came, I guessed straight away. I said to my boss, "Oh, I know what this is about. We've been sold to Future," and that was a pure guess, and it turned out to be true.
Turned out to be true.
So yeah, so you can sort of tell when a game company is trying to sell because they shift their priorities really aggressively. Like it's funny because Bethesda used to be all about like, oh, we're single player focused, and they base their whole marketing around this idea that they're a single player oriented company, and then we get Fallout 76, which had the worst launch I've ever seen in recent years and since Final Fantasy 14's first version. And then you get like Wolfenstein Youngblood, which is the shallowest game I've ever seen in my life. Like it just reuses all Wolfenstein 2 assets just for the sake of trying to make it into a grindathon. Like so lazy. That was all about prepping to be sold.
Yeah.
ZeniMax wanted to exit, and we hopefully under Microsoft we won't be getting those kind of awful games again.
Yeah,
But
yeah, Game Pass will also kind of alleviate the need to make those kind of games, which will be
yeah,
nice.
Game Pass changes the paradigm for how a game's profitable.
Hmm.
Microsoft's key performance indicator that is purely engagement, and you don't get engagement with
With the game that's
bad
mediocre.
games.
Like if people play it
Yeah.
for 2 days and never touch it again, those
Yeah,
those
which
metrics
is
are being watched. Like they want people to come back to games for a long time, so they can say, "Look at all these games we have in Xbox Game Studios. Here are the number of people still playing these games." Like those are the kind of metrics, so you can tell your friends, like, "Oh yeah, like people are still playing this. Let's dive into Sea of Thieves." I'm like, "Oh, I don't have it." I'm like, "Oh, just get Game Pass," and that's kind of like the whole metric they're using for their business going forward. Honestly,
Yeah, it's the same way. It's the same way Spotify grows and Netflix grows. They don't necessarily just look at revenue, and which is why I see a lot of game journalists stumble over their analysis over this whole thing. They're always trying to think of it in terms of like, oh, Microsoft needs to make their money back. Microsoft needs to make the money back. Microsoft's a $1.5 trillion company. Do you think they care about $7 billion? They don't care about $7 billion. That's like they found that down the back of a sofa. It's nothing to them. It's chump change. What Microsoft cares about is getting users and people into their ecosystem, like physical people, and they're in growth mode, so they don't care about spending money because they just need those people to be engaged. And the Microsoft 365 strategy is you engage the people in your ecosystem and then you upsell to them later, you know. So you get people settled into your ecosystem first, and then you push services and sales at them later. So at least for the short term, it's all about quality. It's all about people investing in the ecosystem, and it's all about buying studios, I guess. Um, Miles, I need to be right back. Just a moment.
do your thing. I'm gonna push this button.
Push that button, baby.
Oh yeah. Have you guys heard anything about any changes to achievements for next gen? That is something that's kind of been discussed for a long time now. There was talks of like a full-on kind of refresh and revamp of the achievement system. From what I've heard, it doesn't sound like that's still in the works. or at least actively in development. So, I mean, I wouldn't expect anything like that initially with the launch of the Xbox Series X. I really hope at a certain point that that does happen to kind of make achievements less bloated, because they're cool and they're fun to collect, and at least now we have like the rarities. But at this point, people's numbers are just getting super bloated, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of gamer score, and there's not really any incentive. Like, they used to do the avatar rewards and other cool little perks that made achievements cool and exciting, but now it's just like, how big do you want your number to be? But I think that's where they're struggling. Is I don't think they want to get rid of the number per se. They're just trying to figure out a way to expand on that so people don't feel like what they've invested previously is gone. And I think they're in a kind of a tough spot when it comes to justifying a revamp while also respecting kind of the longevity of achievements as a whole. Oh yeah, and Jez is playing on the Xbox Series X. We're gonna have to make him stream next week so we can kind of see that in action. And then I'm playing on the Xbox One X. Miles, what is your dream acquisition? My dream acquisition would be From Software. If Microsoft wanted to, like, in my opinion, get the kind of like gamer cred Japanese studio or Japanese team, it would be From Software. Like, for me, that would be the dream. That or Capcom, because I'm just legacy Capcom guy. I love a lot of Capcom IP. So those two for me, when it comes to like Phil's dream and vision of expanding their presence in Japan, those would be massive. Will they happen? I don't know. But that's my dream acquisition, From Software. If I could pick one, if I could give a blank check to Microsoft and have them do it, that would definitely be the one. Yeah, Jess has got to dip real quick to eat breakfast at 5:30 p.m. because his sleep schedule is flawless. If Windows Central could acquire another media outlet, what would you want it to be? Oh God. Well, I don't, like Jez talked about a little bit. We're part of Future, so we actually have a pretty big web of outlets that we already work with. So we're kind of under the web. I guess you'd have to ask Future who else they'd want to like absorb into their entity, because now we're part of that fam. So Future's massive. Future owns a lot, including us. So yeah, we don't at this point we can't make any calls on acquiring anyone else. Yes, From Software is niche. Yeah, Capcom has more kind of like acclaim, but when it comes to like, if you want to make PlayStation fans saltier than they are with Bethesda, like, From Software would do that. There would be a contingent of people who would lose their minds if every single From Software game was an Xbox exclusive. People would be screaming from the rooftops. So just for that fun alone, I would love to see it. But I mean, and again, I'm a big Souls boy. I've bought a PS4 for Bloodborne specifically. I'll buy a PS5 for Demon's Souls specifically. So again, that's just me personally, but but yeah, no, I'm a nice guy, but it's fun to watch people squirm every once in a while, you know? Some people just, because and I understand it's expensive, and we've talked about this before. Not everyone can afford every single platform. So I get that certain times when you don't have access to it, that it's frustrating. So I don't want to restrict anyone from playing a game. And like Phil Spencer talked about recently, the goal isn't to restrict people from playing their games. It's actually the opposite.
Well, the thing is, right, when Phil was talking about that, not restricting people, people took that to mean like a last ditch slither of hope that those games would come to PlayStation, but that's not what Phil meant. What Phil meant is that the Xbox ecosystem is more accessible than the PlayStation one, because you can get xCloud on your phone, and you can get xCloud soon you'll be able to get xCloud on your TV, and soon you'll be able to get xCloud in your web browser on your Chromebook or your potato laptop. So Xbox games are more accessible by their very nature. And there's even like some speculation that you'll be able to play xCloud games through PlayStation using the PlayStation's web browser. So it's not like anyone's going to be restricted having access to those games, because all you need to do is pay like $10 or $15 a month or however much it is in dollars, and then you get access to those games, which is far more accessible than buying a whole console for it. So that's what Phil's talking about when he's talking about access.
Jez chiming in real quick between bites. Yeah, and yeah, to your point, exactly. That's what it's all about. Xbox, right now, Phil's being very careful with how he talks about the Bethesda games and exclusivity and all that stuff, because they don't want to seem like the bad guys. Because like there's a lot of people who want to kind of spin this acquisition as Microsoft kind of buying up ZeniMax just to make it so those games are exclusive so other people can't play them. But when you look at what Jez was talking about with web browsers, consoles, all these options, your phone even, like they're not really restricting anyone. Like if you really are that adverse to a specific platform, that's kind of more of a you thing at that point. If you are unwilling to play it on your PC, your phone, any other console, like you just won't have it unless you can get it on your PlayStation, then I mean, I don't know what they're supposed to do at that point, because they're giving you pretty much all the options possible. Oh, am I using a hammer? Oops. I mean, Sony's cool. Like, Sony does a lot of really great things, and that's an important thing to remember in this whole like ecosystem. Is you have Xbox, you have Nintendo, and PlayStation. All of them are doing something unique and cool. Like, I'm not going to write off any one of those companies entirely. Do they all do things that annoy me? Absolutely. All of them have things that I don't particularly get super excited about. Obviously, my preference is Xbox, and that's where I prefer to play, but I'm not going to write one off entirely. If one of them is doing something cool, putting out good games, putting out cool services, it's kind of silly to write it off if you are a quote-unquote gamer. It's a weird mentality to have. Because if you are excited about games and you are excited about trying new games and cool experiences, you wouldn't write off Nintendo, you wouldn't write off PlayStation, and you wouldn't write off Game Pass. Catching up on the chat here, sorry. And yeah, exactly. Competition is what we need. Competition is why we got Game Pass. A force in competition is the reason we have like the best deal in gaming, and like something that's like Netflix has completely changed the way we consume games. Because a big hurdle, and I've talked about this before with gaming in general, is price. Like the average person, it's hard to tell them to spend $500 on a console and $60 to going to be $70 per game. Like the average person does not care. But if you tell the average person that they can pay $15 a month or $10 a month, and they can play it on their computer or they can play it on their phone with their friends, like, and they have access to hundreds of games, that's so a way easier pill to swallow. And that's why like Netflix was so huge as well, because it was like $8 a month or whatever it was at launch, and you could just watch movies, watch TV. You didn't have to pay, because it used to be like $2 or $3 per episode. Like if you wanted to buy a season of South Park, it was like $40. And then now you have services where that's just in there, and you can just access that at any time as part of your subscription. So for the consumer, it's huge. Like, why would you be opposed to that? And there's another weird contingent of people who try to say that, oh, you know, Game Pass isn't sustainable, or they're finding any reason to be adverse to Game Pass's model. But as a consumer, that does not make sense. You're fighting against something that is specifically designed to be in your best interests. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think Microsoft would double dip by releasing, say, Elder Scrolls a couple years after an Xbox release, especially if the console sales are similar to this gen? And I think that's why Phil is using words like case by case basis. Maybe there are specific times where they will look at that. I think generally speaking, it's going to be exclusive, whether that be Game Pass. It's either going to be tied to Game Pass or xCloud. And so you'll have options to access it from there. But in terms of straight up releasing on another platform down the road, I'm not going to rule that out entirely, because I think that is entirely possible. But I don't think that'll be the norm by any means. And if it does, they are going to incentivize Game Pass hard. There's going to be some huge perks to playing it on Xbox, the Xbox ecosystem first. But as we've seen with Phil's wording, he's being very careful not to really commit games to other platforms at all. Which, again, you don't spend $7.5 billion if you plan on just releasing them on everything else, because it's not a good business practice. And as he said, they don't need to release these games on other platforms to make their money back. And that's a big, important statement that he's made. And you've seen a lot of people like take that and run with that and kind of get angry or get excited about that. But that's kind of the reality is, if once the install base of Game Pass gets to a certain point, there will be no need whatsoever to release these games on any other platform. People use the examples like Cuphead and Ori, and I think realistically what that was just kind of a way to keep a good relationship with these studios, with these developers, and to basically say like, hey, these are Xbox games. Like, these were Xbox games. So the narrative that Xbox has no good games, like, you look at the Switch eShop in particular, a lot of like games that launched on Xbox are in the top 10, like, consistently. So that I think for them, that was like a strategic business play to say, like, see what it would do and see if they could actually get people who would normally not be interested in the Xbox ecosystem at all, like, at least looking at it. I don't have the recipe for the lean-to. Oh god, just gotta hang out all night in the next to the fire with my lad. Gunstar, what's up? What's poppin'? Okay, catching up on chat. Which will come first, Wolfenstein 3 or Starfield? I don't know. I really don't know. Probably Wolfenstein, honestly. I feel like Starfield is going to be one of these games that we hear about for years and years and years before it finally comes out. Same with Elder Scrolls 6. I'm not expecting those games in the next 2 years, but I would be pleasantly surprised if that was the case. So, I mean, realistically, it's possible we'll get Wolfenstein 3 before we get Starfield. All right, super chat hype from FaceOwl007. Do they try to arm twist PS and Nintendo to put Game Pass on their systems? They also said it is not sustainable too. I don't think they're trying to twist anyone's arm. I mean, obviously, I'm sure they've reached the conversation and said, hey, like, is this something we can do? I would be so stoked to have like a gaming, like xCloud streaming on my Switch. Like, that would be for me like the perfect situation. I love the form factor of the Switch. I love the convenience. Using my phone is cool. I like that. But if I could get it natively on like a Switch Pro, ooh, that'd be beautiful. Game Pass is fantastic, but don't you agree that the vast majority of PS owners who get Game Pass will only do so 1 month at a time to play one game like Doom or Elder Scrolls 6? I mean, maybe that's a possibility. And I'll use an example of one of my very good friends who was a hardcore PlayStation guy for a while, and he was very adverse to Game Pass. He was one of those guys who would like go out of his way and scour the internet for those sketchy codes to get like 1 month of Game Pass for like $3 or whatever he would do to like cheat the system, is what he was trying to do. Like, see how cheap he could get a Game Pass to play 1 or 2 games every once in a while that he wanted to play. So he was doing that for a while, but the games just kept consistently coming that he was interested in. So it got to the point where he just full on said, okay, whatever, I'm just going to subscribe. Like, there's at least a few games every month now that I end up playing anyway with you guys. So I'm going to just keep my Game Pass subscription for PC. And then eventually that turned to him being a hardcore PlayStation guy, pre-ordering the Xbox Series X on day one. So he was in line with us, like in the queue, in the thick of it. We were all in a phone call, like trying to lock down our pre-orders. So this guy who used to be like cheating the system to get Game Pass for cheap just to spite Xbox is now not only subscribed to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, but has pre-ordered an Xbox Series X. So that's kind of like a little fun anecdote that I like to use when it comes to those specific situations. kind of bugs me that Rand, Colt, and Dealer didn't get Series X kits over some of these fools. That's not nice. I've seen online. I mean, you know, it's a combination of things. Microsoft is very kind of safe with a lot of the people that they send these kits to, you know, so I think that kind of factors in. So obviously those guys have a pretty big following, bigger following than some of the other people who have gotten kits, but that's not the only factor they look at. I am annoyed that Jez didn't lock me down a kit, but that's neither here nor there. But there's no way xCloud or Game Pass going to PlayStation because everyone would just get a PlayStation. What? Okay. Okay. Some are fools. I don't know. That's a little harsh, but yeah. You know, obviously we have our favorite creators and our favorite people we like to look at, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, Microsoft does have a ton of money, but they don't really have unlimited resources. So there was a set marketing budget for the number of consoles that they could allocate to certain outlets, and they have to kind of be smart with who they send it to. So unfortunately, not everyone gets a Series X, which is a bummer. I wish they would just take the Oprah approach and just Series X's for all, but dang, we had 200. Dang, let's get some hype. Let's share it with our moms, our aunts, our grandmas. That's my target demo. And yeah, let's get to 5,000. Let's get to 5,000 viewers.
5,000. You're ambitious. I like that.
You know, it's important to have big goals, big dreams, Jez. How was your meal? You've refreshed, recharged, amped up?
I do feel refreshed and recharged.
Good. Shake the sleepies off. We 50 minutes in, now it's time for business. I don't have the recipe for a lean-to, bro. I'm just sitting here in the dark.
I'm trying to remember how to get a lean-to. How do you do it?
I know, I was trying to like remember what we need to research. Is it a clover leaf? Have we researched a clover leaf yet? It might be that. Xbox Battlegrounds. What up? Colt does have a big following. Why not him?
Okay,
I don't know.
I'll tell you the reason why I don't think Rand, Dealer, and Colt got an Xbox for review.
Because Rand hates Super Smash Bros.
Well, there's that, but they don't have any. They don't go on camera, and they don't use a camera. Like there's no videos on their channel which shows that they can use a camera.
That is a good point. They want a face to the name.
They want these consoles shown off. They don't just want people to talk about them. They want the influencers or whatever to be like, yeah, we got the console and here's a video of us using the console, you know. So I said to Rand, Rand, the only reason you didn't get one is because you don't have a camera, you know, and that's it. Show
that sweet face, Rand. Let's see it. Quit hiding in the shadows, all right?
Yeah, I don't physically go on camera because no one wants to see that. But I do have a camera that we film game stuff with, you know. Like, if you look on our channel, we've got a video about the Razer Kishi, which I shot myself with my camera. And, you know, we take photographs for the articles and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different, you know.
And Masuko, supporter tier hype. Let's go. Welcome, fam. Yeah, and Gunstar says, Jen says back-to-back podcast tonight. That's true. You're going to be running a Xbox gauntlet today.
Man. JS is always on point, sharp mind. Man, I tell you, JF, it's less about having a sharp mind, because that is something I definitely probably don't have. It's more about the fact that I work with Daniel Rubino, who's like, Daniel Rubino goes on like CNN and Fox Business to talk about Microsoft's business.
Mm-hmm.
So like I learned a lot about the business aspects of Microsoft from people within our company. And this is where a lot of game journalists fall short. Hang on a sec, what the hell's that? What is that?
What are you doing? What are you seeing?
Look at this! Look
Where?
at this!
Oh, I'm coming.
Just fell out of the sky.
Ooh, the crow. The crow's in the game. Crow feather. Ooh, we don't have the right tools though, because you can like basically harvest the feathers and use them for crafting now.
Damn, that's new.
So that's a cool little
Well,
development.
that freaked me out actually. But yeah, Dan Rubino taught me a lot about how business works, and a lot of game journalists, the extent of a game journalist's knowledge when it comes to consoles is, did PlayStation win NPD this month? But the the industry's a lot bigger than that now, and so many game journalists I've seen this week have put their name on articles like, "Oh, Microsoft needs to make their money back," or "How can Microsoft ignore Sony's install base?" You know, Microsoft does not think in terms of console install base. The console install base has not grown beyond 250 million in over a decade. The console market is maxed out. It's not growing. And that's what like a lot of the game journalists, like, they don't want to accept, is that in order to grow, they need to look beyond the console, and looking beyond the console is getting you where you are, which is your web browser or your TV or your phone. It's not selling people a console, because in this day and age, there's just too many markets where that doesn't work. It just doesn't work in so many markets. And a lot of game journalists, they only think about the US and the UK, and they only think about like when they were kids, everyone had a Super Nintendo in America and stuff like that. But we're looking at like countries like India and China and stuff like that, where the landscape is totally different. A lot of these markets don't even have TVs, you know. How do you sell a lot of the kids in these markets, for example, they don't have TVs in their rooms. They just have a phone. So how do you get them if they don't? How do you get them on a console if they don't even have or don't even want a TV? You have to get them on their phones, and that's really where Microsoft's mentality is now. It's growing beyond the console install base. They can't grow the console install base any more than it has been. You know, Sony had like some of the best games this gen and some of the best, you know, sales figures with PlayStation, and they still, I don't think, topped the PlayStation 2. Or if they did, they didn't do it by much.
Yeah.
So what does that say? What does that say? That says that the console market is not growing. It's not growing.
We've sort of hit critical mass, because I've talked about this on Twitter as well. And realistically, what it comes down to at this point in this day and age with technology and where we're at is, it's more about convenience than it is anything else. Like, if you're not going to where people already are, then you're just losing out on those people. Those people, statistically speaking, will not come to you. And that's what Xbox has realized. And that's why we see Game Pass and xCloud on everything. And I also want to read just a really nice comment here from Faith12. Just want to comment about how awesome your positivity is, Miles. I've enjoyed WC's YouTube videos because of your approach. We need more folks talking about the industry like you. That warms the soul. And then Seko Yume with the super chat. What are your top 5 launch window games for the Xbox Series X and S? I'll let you start, Jez. Hit me with 5. Hit me with the top 5.
Watch Dogs Legion and Assassin's Creed Valhalla are high on my list. More so Watch Dogs Legion just because it's set in London. And, you know, it's always nice when a game, you know, is set in your hometown or whatever. I mean, I'm not from London, but I know London pretty damn well. So I'm intrigued about that. Also, The Medium, Akira Yamaoka from Silent Hill fame, and you know, it really does feel like they're Bloobers trying to step up to the next level with The Medium. So I'm really intrigued about that. And then Cyberpunk 2077 obviously comes out the week after, or 2 weeks after the Xbox One launch. I think it's the week after, right?
It's the week after,
yeah. So obviously the Cyberpunk to look forward to. And also, finally, a game I did not expect to be looking forward to, which is Yakuza Like a Dragon. I've never really played Yakuza games before, but it's one of the games that we have available for previewing on the Xbox Series X. And I really, really love it. and I'm getting into the Yakuza franchise, which is something I would never have done before Game Pass. Well, I might have done, but I always just I don't know. For some reason, I just never bothered trying Yakuza, but because it's on Game Pass, it's just like, well, why not?
Hmm.
So there's that as well. So those are my games, but there are others too, like Harry Hoff says, Observer Redux. I want to try that as well because I never played the base game of Observer, so that's one I really want to check out. What about you, Miles?
So yeah, the medium is probably my number one in terms of like the games I'm most excited to play on the Series X. Like I'm a huge horror fan. I'm a huge Bloober fan as well. Like those guys have been kind of in my opinion, the best example of a horror dedicated studio in modern times. And seeing those guys expand and get bigger budgets and kind of like grow on their visions is amazing. Uh, those guys are incredible. So that I also didn't play Observer though, so that's another one I'm definitely going to check out as well. I played Blair Witch, I played Layers of Fear, a lot of their other previous titles, but I never played Observer. Gears 5 honestly is I mean I've already put hundreds of hours into it, but that's a game I'm going to be hitting hard when the Series X drops. Yakuza Like a Dragon will be my first Yakuza game that I've ever played. I'm excited about that. That is the one big game I think I'm buying myself at launch. Because a lot
It's
of
on
this
Game Pass, though, isn't it?
Yakuza Like a
Or is it
Dragon
not?
is
Oh yeah, maybe it's
not.
not.
Yeah, is
No,
not.
it's
I
not on
wish it
Game Pass.
was.
Okay.
Is pretty much most of the games I'm most excited about are conveniently in Game Pass, so it works out nicely for my wallet. But of the big games that are coming out, Yakuza is going to be the one I buy, and that's going to be my first foray into Yakuza. So I'm super stoked for that. And I'm also really tempted to pick up Valhalla, even though it kind of looks like the same. Because I played the last two. I played Origins and I played Odyssey. I played a lot of Origins and I played 10, 15 hours of Odyssey and I liked it, but it was kind of. I was really excited about the new formula when I first played it, but it seems like we're kind of back to Ubisoft reskinning and Assassin's Creed every other year. So it looks cool. It looks
Yeah.
interesting. I love the Viking setting. I love the kind of like similarities to like there's a lot of Hellblade inspiration that I've noticed, like with puzzles and stuff from some of the previews that we've seen. So that's excited me. And Sea of Thieves.
Oh,
Sea of Thieves is number
did you
5, baby.
see
Let's go.
my Suko? My Suko joined as a channel supporter, so thank you so much for that.
Oh yeah, I
On the
gave
support tier.
give them a little shout out.
Oh, cool. Okay, you get a pass then.
Get a pass. Okay. What other stuff in the chat have we missed? But yeah, those are my kind of top 5. And then Dead by Daylight as like a bonus because that's oddly one of the like optimized games, and I have a love-hate relationship with Dead by Daylight because on paper it should be like
Man.
my favorite game of all time, but in execution, it's Generator Repair Simulator 2020, and like the gameplay loop as a survivor is kind of whack.
Man, I got an issue with that game. Like, I always try and play as one of the bad guys, right? And this is totally me being a noob, but at the same time, man, how do you stop someone just strafing around you while crouched,
The
and you can't
jukes.
grab them because the lag's so bad?
The jukes are
Survivors,
extreme.
man.
That's what it's all about. It's all because the killer's in first person and the survivors are in third person. So it's easier as a survivor to kind of be aware of where people are. So the MLG Pro strat as a survivor is to run into an area with a lot of corners, turn a sharp corner and crouch, and then hide. And 9 times out of 10, the killer's just going to run past you because they're in first person. So they assume you just kept running. So that's kind of the pro strat that a lot of people have used. And there's some people where it's like broken, like they have got it down to a science where playing as the killer is not fun at all. That's why I
Wow.
always go survivor.
F. Jez, how are the load times on Wasteland 3 on the Series X? They're much improved.
Okay,
Like
good.
all load times for everything across the board are improved. Like it's just by the very nature of the storage, you're just going to see improvements whether devs have a patch for it or not. It's just the way it works. So like loading times that were typically anywhere up to a minute, and now like you're looking at like 15 seconds maybe or something like that at most. So yeah, They are much improved.
Jez, they've kind of talked about this briefly, and I don't know if this is something you have any additional info on or can
Oh God.
talk about, but the games that have caps, like let's say Fallout 4 is one example they used of games that they are going in and optimizing themselves. Do we have a list, or do we know when a list is coming of games that will support that?
We do have a list on Windows Central that Matt put together. I don't know how accurate it is, or if
Okay.
there's anything missing.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, it's weird because there are some games where Microsoft can go in and easily tweak them to unlock the frame rates. And I think that those are games that are made PC first, and they're games where they can just literally change a line of text in a config file to make them, go to 60 frames. But that's not for every game. So like a lot of games won't work like that. A lot of games will actually need more of a serious update and stuff. So I think, oh my God, there's just spiders and bugs and stuff everywhere. I'm trying to talk.
No,
Uh,
it's a stressful game to play and talk at the same time, that's for sure.
I'm trying to get to the tree because I want an acorn,
Oh yeah,
but
okay.
I can't because there's things trying to kill me all over the place.
Oh, we're going straight in the spider den, my boy. What are you doing?
Oh my God, I'm stuck in a spider web. Where did this come from?
Yeah, they put one of the
spider web
updates
just
is that you can
spawned in front
get
of my face.
stuck in the spider webs now. Can we smash that?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
oh my God, what's that? Oh, it's you. Oh my God. I thought I was being attacked. You just hit me in the back. I can't chop it. I'm trying to hit this spider web with a hammer. Can you get it with an axe, please?
God. We slowly but surely we're gonna get our way through here. Oh my God, no, I'm stuck.
Oh my
Jess,
God! Oh
no.
my God!
It's over for me. Oh, now it's gone. Now it's gone. That's cute. Goodbye, Jez. Goodbye.
You just I threw my hammer at this spider and now I don't have a hammer anymore. Kill the spider, man. What are you doing?
I'm one hit from death. I can't, bro. I can't. Hold on, let me eat. Let me slam some mushrooms here.
I
But
think
yeah,
he's stuck.
he's
the
stuck,
spider's
thankfully.
stuck.
Yeah.
He's stuck
He's
in the
thankfully
wall.
stuck, otherwise I'd be dead.
Come and help me slowly jack away at his health, please.
Oh, he's knocked out.
Oh, he might be unstuck now. He might be unstuck.
Oh God.
No,
Oh
he's
no.
still
Oh no.
stuck.
Oh no. Okay. Can he reach us? Can he bite us or no? Has he?
No, he can't. He's totally stuck in the wall.
Oh yeah, die boy. We cheese in the game. Take that, Obsidian.
Andy Kinsella asks, have you tried the disc version of AC Unity without the patch of Series X 60 FPS mode is unlocked? You don't need the disc. I mean, you don't. I mean, it works on both because I don't know if anyone realizes this,
Yeah.
but dude, that dude is gross, but he's dead, so that's good. Which means I can now go and get my acorns that I wanted to get. But AC Unity. I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but when you're playing a game on Xbox One, you're not actually playing it off the disc. You're playing it off your hard drive, and it downloads the updates that you need straight to your console from the internet. So really, the only thing you use the disc for is to prove to Xbox Live that you own the game. You don't actually run the game off the disc or anything like that. The only reason you have the disc in is to affirm ownership. So when you're playing the disc version of AC Unity, it's exactly the same as the digital version. It is basically the digital version. So yeah, if you've got the disc version of AC Unity, it will run at 60 frames per second on Xbox Series X. Yeah.
Oh, Hazador, what up, boy?
What are your best games of the gen? Says Aman Abdul.
Oh, our best games of the gen. Like, all right, pick one. You have to pick one, Jess. One game of the
Monster
gen.
Hunter World, Monster Hunter World,
Ooh.
Monster Hunter World. It's just easy.
It's a masterpiece, dude.
Yeah, I put 500 hours into Monster Hunter World and about on Xbox and about 40 hours on PS4. You know, I absolutely love that game so much. I'm a Monster Hunter fanboy as a result of that game. That was the first time I played Monster
That was your
Hunter.
first Monster
Totally sucked
Hunter?
in. Yeah, it was my first Monster Hunter. I never played the other games. I
I
never
assumed you were just a long time Monster Hunter boy because you were going
oh
hard
no.
in World. Hard.
Nah. Me and my brother, neither of us have played Monster Hunter until World. My brother's got 1,000 hours played in Monster Hunter World
Woo!
on Xbox.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
I have several hundred hours, but I've played the last 4 Monster Hunter games before that. So I mean, Monster Hunter World is a great place to start. Like if you've never played a Monster Hunter and you want to get in, Monster Hunter World, when it comes to quality of life stuff, is the game to play for sure. Some of the other ones, as much as I love them, are so grindy, so tedious. A lot of unnecessary menu
Yeah.
and pre-match and post-match stuff you have to deal with. So if you want to play Monster Hunter and you've never tried, World is in Game Pass and it's a great place to start. Really, kind of, not really. It's forgiving compared to previous games too. I had some edgelord Monster Hunter fan friends that hated Monster Hunter World because they said it was too easy. I'm just like, oh god.
I'd love to see them like kill Arch-Tempered no Gigante when that launched. Or have they killed Fatalis yet on Monster Hunter World? Man,
It's not an easy
I
game by any means, but it's easier than
I know
previous
people
ones.
who are salty about Monster Hunter World being easy, but
It's
like I don't I would like to see them kill some of these bosses
well, they were saying
if
it
they
was
think it's so
easy. I
easy.
had 2 or 3 friends who stopped playing the game because they said it was too hard. So it's not an easy game. Like that's just kind of old Monster Hunter is brutal, super brutal and super unforgiving. But yeah, Monster Hunter World's great.
Isn't a lot of that because it's just so inconvenient a lot of the time?
Yeah, there was just like you couldn't like move while drinking potions, you couldn't move while using items. Using items and potions took like several straight seconds. You were super restricted with when and where you could use your weapons and items, and oh, it was just a lot of it was just jank. A lot of it was just like
Jank.
jank, honestly. But my game of the gen is probably Dark Souls 3. If I had to pick one, in my opinion, Dark Souls 3 is the greatest RPG that has ever been made.
I did find that after playing Monster Hunter, that Dark Souls felt a lot easier to play.
It's
Uh,
they're similar. There's a lot of similarities. Like a lot of it comes down to timing and dodging, which in that regard, Monster Hunter and Dark Souls are very similar.
like the whole concept of iframes and stuff. Like when I first tried to play Monster Hunter, I was like much younger and tried it on the 360, and I was just like, I don't get this game. I don't get it. Like I didn't know you could grind, for example, so I just rushed ahead with like no upgrades and tried to kill the what's it called, the Taurus demon thing,
Oh yeah,
the
the
bull
soul
dude.
mechanic is confusing. Like if you just jump into Dark Souls, like it's weird that souls are used as currency and for leveling up. So that is kind
Yeah,
of it's a
yeah.
weird unique thing.
And I never found that vendor near the start of the game either and stuff like that. Um, but after playing Monster Hunter and stuff, I did find it a lot easier. So I'm gonna try and give Dark Souls another go
We gonna
when I
play
get
through
around
Dark
to it. But
Souls remastered, bro? We can play through Dark Souls 1? You tell me when you're
yeah,
ready.
man,
You tell me when you're ready, Jess, and
I will, man.
we'll
I
take
will,
this
buddy.
journey together.
We'll do it. We'll do
We're gonna level up Jess's gamer cred.
it. Gamer
Oh god.
cred. Man, I got enough gamer cred for surviving World of Warcraft vanilla.
Oh god. Yeah, I
It
played WoW.
took us 2 months to kill bosses in World of Warcraft back in the day. Not a few days, a few months. So that's my experience of hardcore gaming. Um,
Going through.
do you think Microsoft will put Final Fantasy VII Remake on Game Pass? Well, ultimately that's up to Square Enix. Like
Mhm.
I'm sure Microsoft like they would want Final Fantasy VII Remake into Game Pass, and a lot of Square Enix games have gone to Game Pass, which is cool to see. But we still haven't had Final Fantasy VII actually confirmed for for Xbox at all yet.
I thought it
Um,
was.
it's not. It's confirmed by. It's confirmed in the same way that Final Fantasy 14 Realm Reborn is confirmed, in the fact that it's not. It's got an exclusivity period, but it's still not on the box. So
Because I thought
is
it was
the
a 1 year thing. Because originally, when they first revealed the game, wasn't there an Xbox logo in the trailer?
I have no idea,
I'm,
but
I mean, there's no date, obviously, at this point. There's no official confirmed release date for Final Fantasy VII. And I think that is just part of the marketing deal. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty much not. I thought it was pretty much confirmed that it was launching on Xbox. Pretty much 12 months to the day.
I mean, a lot of things are pretty much confirmed, but we still haven't seen it materialize as an official announcement. Is what
True.
I'm saying.
Yeah. And do you think that has to do with
Which
like the marketing? Like it can't even be made until a year has passed?
man, I literally have no idea.
Answer
Um,
me, Gino.
I'd love to say yeah, but I just can't. You know, I don't. I haven't. Nobody at Microsoft or anywhere has told me definitively that Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming to Xbox. I would like. The assumption is that it was 1 year timed exclusivity, as people in chat are saying, but until I get that official announcement, I'm gonna not get my hopes up. Um, I completed Final Fantasy VII. I completed it,
Oh yeah, you
and
reviewed it for us, right? Or
I actually reviewed it. Yeah,
yeah.
I reviewed Final Fantasy VII Remake for Android Central, who inexplicably cover PlayStation for some reason. Um, and pretty much they cover anything and everything these days, frankly. But that's a whole nother conversation. But um, uh, I
Um
um, I enjoyed it until the end. The ending, yeah. I mean, if you're a fan of Final Fantasy VII in general, you've probably heard that the ending is divisive. I won't spoil it or anything, but the ending was kind of like almost ruined the whole game for me.
oh god, like
That's how bad it
like an
was.
M Night Shyamalan, like you get to the end, you're like, that was a waste of an hour and a half, but this was a waste of 40 hours.
Yeah, man, I was so salty about the ending. It was just, oh man, I don't want to spoil it. Like I say, I just don't, I just don't, I just don't,
I just
I don't.
don't even have words for it. That's how
I don't
upset you
even
are.
have words
Can't
for that.
even word it, bro.
Can't even word it.
Oh
But
wait, Damn Good is saying Otagi 3 needs to happen, which we got any Otagi fans in the house? Because let's go. Let's get the Otagi hype in here. That was like a
what's
weird,
that?
it was a From Software Xbox exclusive series. This was pre
Oh,
Dark Souls days, but it was kind of like the precursor to the Dark Souls formula, more or less. It was more Devil May Cry kind of hack and slash inspired, but whew, those games are so good. If you can find a copy, um, it's pretty rare and it's not backwards compatible, so you literally have to play it on the OG Xbox, which is hugely disappointing, but that is a little nod to From Software and Xbox's history, is that Otagi was an Xbox exclusive. So that's why Elden Ring has been confirmed to be an Xbox exclusive as well.
is it?
No,
No, it's not.
that's good. But if it does happen, then I'll just say that I knew all along. I think that's fair, right?
Yeah, that's how Rand does it.
Yeah, you just say everything and then I'll do it with a laugh at the end. So if I'm wrong, I can say it was a joke, right? That's the pro tip.
Yeah, that is the pro tip.
For all you analysts, wannabe analysts out there, that's the way to do it. You do it sarcastically or laugh at the end, so that way you're covering your bases and you can make wild claims with no consequences. Okay.
Unless you're me and people are watching what you say with a microscope.
And then they like, yes, post about you on Reset Era.
Yeah,
But
all that
that's what you get for
fun
being such a
stuff.
personality, Jazz. That's what you get for being in the thick of the
Oh
industry.
yeah,
You're
such a
under a
personality.
microscope. Like Jez is a fraud. Jez is a fraud.
Uh,
Jez said the Xbox Series X
uh,
dashboard would be 4K, but it's not.
yeah, man. Their marketing materials did say it was going to be 4K.
I think it's going to be. I think people need to calm down a little bit. I think because they're rolling it
No,
out,
it's not going to be.
like maybe not on day one, but I don't see a
No, it's
world.
not. It's not. It's not going to
They
be
have
4K.
100% confirmed that they have no plans to make it 4K.
Not officially, but
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like they're
yeah,
rolling
but
it out across all platforms at once, and to ensure a stable experience, I imagine it might just be 1080, but there is no way
no.
that they are going to
I,
leave it
I,
up.
I'm telling you, it's not going to be 4K.
Not going
I'm
to be
telling you
4K
now.
ever, is what you're telling me. You're going to commit to that.
Yes, I'm
That
committing
the
to that.
Xbox Series X dashboard will never be 4K. Jez Corden
Yeah, I'm
is
committing to that.
committing today. What is today's date? October 17th, 2020. The Xbox Series X dashboard will never be 4K.
The reason is because they've told developers how much RAM to expect, and if they make the dashboard 4K, there'll be less RAM for games. Not a huge amount of less RAM, but they want developers to know that they have a certain amount of RAM, and unless they, can take the RAM from somewhere else to make the dashboard 4K, the dashboard will stay at 1080p.
Dumpa ba. That's it. I'm buying a PS5, Jez. I'm canceling my pre-order. The dashboard was the final straw. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm
Oh
out.
no.
I'm out. I'm done with this podcast. I'm done covering Xbox. Uh, um,
It's not. It's just funny. Like
it's people are being
I,
very
the
dramatic about it.
most irritating thing about the dashboard not being 4K is that when you exit a game to the dashboard, some TVs will flicker as it switches between HDR modes. My TV flickers between HDR and 4K and stuff when I go to the dashboard. That is irritating as hell because the processor in my TV is slow and it takes ages for it to actually fully switch modes. Um, so that's the only reason I would be salty about it. But other than that, like who cares?
It's
Seriously.
not a huge deal. Kind of weird that that isn't something that they feel like they can target, especially considering that they have access to cache certain bits of information and assets. But
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but I do know that devs have been told to expect a certain amount of RAM, and that certain amount of RAM would indicate that the dashboard's not going to change to 4K anytime soon.
dun dun dun. Jez and Miles, do you see any movement by Sega to convince Atlas to start putting their games on Xbox? Is better. It is getting better, but JRPGs and quirky anime games still need to be on Xbox. I would love to see that. I'd love to see them kind of do like the big Square thing where we see like the Persona franchise, or the Yakuza is another example of like a famous Japanese kind of franchise that took forever to come to Xbox. Like I want to see the big rollout where like all these games will eventually be on Game Pass. But oh, I'm dead. Jez, no. But I think really what it
Why are you
comes
dead?
down to is the games, they need proof that they'll sell on Xbox. Do you see a little marker for me? Help!
No.
Oh,
Oh, actually, I see your name.
come to me,
I
Jez.
guess I could save you. I guess I could save you. What killed you?
Myself. I did it to myself.
Okay, that's fine. Don't want to be messing with no spider.
Oh
Rosie.
yeah, my voice is echoing. I think I'm coming through your headset or your speakers a little bit, Jez.
Oh, really?
Just every now and then. Like right there, I heard it a little bit. A little bit. Thank you for picking me up, by the way, dear pal.
You shouldn't know. Man, this headset is kind of leaky. Man, that kind of sucks. You shouldn't come through now anyway, or at least less.
Let me talk. La 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 la. Yeah, seems golden. Seems good. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the confirmed launch list of optimized games. I'm glad that Microsoft confirmed that because they had been talking about like, oh, there's going to be a bunch of games that just look and run better on day one, but they haven't really, outside of just the natural locked 30 FPS or whatever the game is locked to, happening more consistently, they hadn't really talked about it. So I'm glad that there is a list of 30 games right now that will be quote unquote fully optimized or optimized to some degree for the Xbox Series X and S. Was there anything in particular, like older stuff that popped out to you when you were looking at that list?
Well, frankly, I'm kind of skeptical of the list anyway, because like, for games, if the only optimization is smart delivery without any details, that pretty much means nothing.
But it seems like the list wasn't really that, because there are a lot of games that I assumed or developers have talked about being optimized that I did not see on that list, which I thought was kind of weird. Because the list was only 30 games. So they are only committing
honestly,
to 30 games, basically.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft themselves don't know for sure all the games are optimized yet or not.
That's kind of, yeah, honestly. I feel like they haven't really had the time or ability to test all of them. So there's just like a small pool of like, well, these developers are saying that for sure that they're doing something different with these. So we'll partner with them and advertise those games.
Yeah, it all feels like it's a bit like it's coming in hot, and I suppose that COVID's to blame to some degree for that. Should we sleep? Go to the lean-to.
Do we have the lean-to yet? Oh, we do. Thank God. Okay. Sleep.
Yeah. Now I'm dying of hunger and thirst.
Ni no Kuni didn't sell well on PS4. That is kind of a shame. That game was beautiful. Did you play that, Jez? Ni no Kuni?
No, what is that game?
The
I don't know if
Studio
I've even heard of it.
Ghibli joint. The Studio Ghibli basically did the story and animation, but it was like a turn-based Pokemon-esque RPG on PS4.
Right.
Well, originally it was on PS3, and they did a sequel, which I didn't really hear anything about. But the original was phenomenal, and they did a remastered version on PS4 as well.
All right.
It's got Pokemon in it, so you'd love it.
I'd like to hope that if Xbox gamers support Yakuza, it means that Persona will come. I think like even though Atlas is like underneath Sega, it does feel like they still have a lot of independence. Kind of like
it totally
Mojang.
does, yeah. There's definitely not synonymous at all. Like a lot of people don't even really associate Atlas with Sega.
Yeah,
they have a lot of
like
autonomy.
even like when not sold Mojang and Minecraft to Microsoft, part of the contract was that Mojang would retain some degree of independence and stuff. So even as that studio exists underneath Microsoft, there's still like some aspects that they can, basically decide for themselves internally.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what they can do by themselves, but I suspect it's similar to Atlas, where Atlas can just be like, instead of working on a port of that, we'll just ignore Xbox and work on something else instead. But yeah, I'd like to think that if Yakuza does well on Game Pass, which it does seem like it is, that hopefully something can be worked out about Persona.
Yeah, I want to see like, and that's a thing too. Like, if you are interested in these games, like these companies are looking for proof. Like Sega and Atlas are looking for proof of concept from Xbox, and Xbox is working hard to have that proof of concept, saying like, hey, like these games do well on Xbox and in Game Pass. Because historically, that just hasn't been the case. Like, there's a reason certain games just haven't come to Xbox or take forever to come to Xbox. Is just because the justification in terms of like sales, when they look at specific metrics, just aren't there. and that sucks as like an Xbox fan to hear, but that's the reality of what these companies are looking at when they're gonna do a port.
Yeah, it's also just the fact that Xbox isn't so popular in Japan. But I have it on good authority that Japan's pre-orders of the Xbox Series X are like maybe higher than they've ever been.
Yeah, it
Um,
was really crazy and cool to see like pretty much all pre-orders sell out in like what was it, 20 minutes in Japan?
oh God, watch out behind you.
Oh no, what is it? Oh god. Oh my god. Ah.
Man, I'm trying to get these. I'm trying to get this clay, but it's under the water and I can't select it because it's underneath the water.
Oh yeah, and we're not
So I gotta,
swimming, so we can't access it. Wait. Boom. Wait.
so I gotta
Boom. Wait.
kick it to the
Got it.
edge of the water. Ah, I know this, but
I got
you
it.
picked it
I
up.
got it.
I'm trying to build a foundation.
Yeah, and Elrond brings up an interesting point about the optimization, because he's saying that if you go to certain games in the store, like Dead by Daylight, for example, which is one of the 30 games, one of the select games that's on their list that's optimized for Xbox Series X and S, does not have the badge. So it's really hard. It's impossible to know which game is optimized outside of, I think there are only like 6 games in the entire store right now that actually have the badge on them.
Yeah, it's all a bit messy at the
It's a
moment.
hot mess, Jez.
Yeah, I think like next year it won't be such of a big deal because presumably, basically all the games will be optimized and that'll just become the norm. But at least in the short, at least for launch, it's going to be like what's optimized and what isn't, you know.
You just gotta boot it
Um,
up and find open up the
yeah, pretty
game and
much.
see if it runs better and looks better.
Yeah.
That'll be something that I feel like we'll do a lot of coverage on, like going through and like testing at least the big games that aren't officially optimized. But I know you've been able to do some of that. But
I Simple says, I know this might be a past inquiry that you've gone over, but I personally think free-to-play games such as Apex should be free online, but hey, that's me. I've seen this debate come up time and time again. And I think you know what the truth is about Xbox Live Gold multiplayer paywall. I think it will go away completely. I genuinely believe in 2021 or 2022 the multiplayer paywall for all games will just go away,
I think
and
so
Xbox
too.
Live Gold will be, yeah. I think Xbox Live Gold will be associated with some other kind of perk, and and obviously it'll be in Game Pass Ultimate, which includes Xbox Live Gold anyway. But I think Microsoft sees their business being oriented around Game Pass in the future, and the fact that Xbox Live Gold is sort of like it's barely even advertised anymore. I think they do see it as a relic of the past and something that they do want to get rid of. So
Yeah, it's definitely a
just
legacy
stay
thing that they don't
tuned.
want to like just drop, because
Yeah,
as like kind of whatever as the free games have been, and it is like a value proposition for them to market for now. They can, with the game, like getting people into Game Pass at the very least. But I think the most frustrating thing about Xbox's kind of unified ecosystem is that if you go on PC and you play these games on PC, that doesn't exist. You get the party chat, you get the cloud saves, you get all the features of Xbox Live on your PC for free. So there's like this
yeah.
weird disparity between their ecosystem right now that, with everything being so uniform, is kind of a glaring omission to me personally right now.
Yeah, and I think the fact that they are free on PC is further evidence that they'll just get rid of it. I think they will just ditch it. But it's a matter of finding an alternative revenue stream because it is a lot of money, and you know, earlier on when you were talking about your friend who was looking for, scraping for like codes so he didn't have to pay for Game Pass and stuff. And someone in the chat was saying that What's to stop people from subscribing for a few days and then stopping? The fact is, people don't. The evidence suggests that people don't do that, or at least not enough for it to be a problem. Because you've got to remember, one of Microsoft's key hires last year was Netflix's head of marketing. He joined Microsoft. I think it was head of marketing or something like that. He was an important dude at Netflix, put it that way. So when it comes to like making a subscription service, and also Microsoft pioneered Xbox Live, so they do know a little bit about subscription services already.
Yeah.
The evidence, I've been told, the evidence is that once people are subscribed, most people just stay subscribed. And I certainly find that to be true in my own life. Like, I'm subscribed to Spotify, I'm subscribed to Netflix, and you know, I do use those services fairly often, but I'm pretty sure I go months sometimes without actually using Netflix. But I just leave it subscribed just because who cares? It's like $15. Like,
Yeah, it's hard to be bothered to like oh, I'm not going to use it this month, so I'll cancel it this month and then I'll re-sign up next month. Like,
yeah, it's just laziness, and it's like it's barely any money when you think about it.
and it's
Oh my god! Oh god, that scared the hell out of me, man.
dropping some
Bloody-
weed stems.
Dandelion fell on my head.
And again, like we talked about earlier,
I
it's
felt like I was being attacked by something.
it's all about convenience. Like, it's not convenient to cancel and resubscribe every time. Like
Yeah,
even if you
exactly.
don't use it every day or every month, like the average person statistically is not going to cancel and re-sign up. That's a weird contingent of people who I don't know, feel like that's the best use of their money, which I guess technically if they're not using it you shouldn't pay for it. But Blondie but geeky, what is good? Masuko talking a little bit about the Dirt drama. Dirt 5 seems to be very well developed. Such a pity of the drama around that. I don't really get the drama.
What is the
around
drama?
that.
What
Like,
is the drama?
the crowd gate or whatever the hell, like the fact that the 120
Crowd
FPS mode has less people in the crowd was a source
Oh,
of
right.
drama, which is like, if you're like, for me, like if I'm playing a racing game, and if I'm playing a racing game at 120 FPS and I'm blazing around the track and mud's kicking up everywhere, am I really going to notice that there's less people in the crowd? Is that something people truly do care about? Or is that just something people are using as a way to be like, Xbox Series X can't handle 120 FPS gaming without turning all the settings off? And that's the reality. Like,
Man,
unless you have a $3,000
That's
PC, you're not playing any game at 4K 120. That's just the reality of it. Like, the Series X is $500. Like, it's going to run games great. Games are going to look good, but you're not going to get the highest possible settings at 4K 120 FPS for every game. It's just impossible. Uh-oh. IGN was recording in 1080, then uploading it to YouTube for even worse picture quality. The conspiracy.
Man,
The
I see a lot of criticism thrown at IGN. For
IGN's
like,
getting... People hate
cutting
IGN.
corners and
People
stuff.
hate IGN right
Yeah,
now. Like, so much of my Twitter interactions are people telling me that IGN is getting paid by Sony, or IGN hates Xbox, or people at IGN have no idea what they're doing.
I already see some IGN journalists preparing to push the narrative that Xbox having these games exclusively is a bad thing.
Oh, they're all about...
It's really funny. Like,
they're all about the
like
engagement.
why? Yeah, I don't know, but it frustrates me that it's okay for Sony to have exclusives and it's not okay for Microsoft to have them. And I already get people saying, "Well, Sony built those studios up," but
They
I'm
didn't.
sorry,
They
but
bought
they
Naughty
actually-
Dog. Like,
they
sorry,
bought them.
Insomniac.
They
bought
bought
them.
this, yeah.
Like,
They bought these studios. They did the same thing that Microsoft did. They bought those studios. So it's a hypocritical sort of position to take. And then it's like, then you get into like, oh well, they built those studios up from when they're like in indie status. And it's kind of like, well, you're making up all these arbitrary rules. just so you've got something to argue with.
And that
So
proof of
it's
concept has worked. Why do you think Microsoft is doing that with these like not massive AAA studios, but they're buying up these teams that have potential and they're like investing in them? Because
yeah, they've
clearly,
done
like,
both.
it works. And you can't use the example that Sony did as an example that's of something that Microsoft can't do. Because you love what Sony did with that same idea. So why are you opposed to it now?
The thing about like big sites like IGN, they practically have no competition in the space. IGN, like our biggest in future, our biggest gaming website's Games Radar, right?
Yeah.
And Games Radar doesn't touch IGN for monthly traffic. IGN is truly massive.
Yeah,
And I think when you
IGN
get
is
to
the
that,
biggest by a lot.
by far, yeah. And I think like when you get to that sort of size, um, it's sort of like you don't have to worry so much about the details, maybe. I don't know. But like when I'm writing an article, I feel like I'm under a microscope, and I always want to cross every T and dot every I as much as I can, because like I don't even want to bother with people getting mad at me for making the smallest mistakes. You know, it does happen, but
Yeah, people are human, but yeah, like when people are calling me
I
out
have
for the
no
way I
idea why
pronounce words in
yeah.
videos, I'm like, damn, okay. Okay.
See, I have no idea why IGN aren't rocking proper capture cards. You know, like we have like most of the people in Windows Central have some degree of capture cards. And if we're gonna do a story about 4K resolution or something, it's gonna be one of the staff members that has a 4K capture card, like myself, for example. Um, but it's just like the basics that you should have if that's what you're writing about.
Oh yeah.
But
But again, like,
I don't know. But if you're the biggest, you don't have to bother with that stuff because you're going to be the biggest regardless. Um, so you know, and IGN does do a lot of good work. You know, it's not like they're not the biggest because of anything other than they at least work hard and stuff like that. But
yeah, you don't really get
I
that
think
big
like
by accident.
no, you don't. But I think at the same time, when you are that big, you can get complacent and not look at what the competition's doing and stuff like that. And like, why would you even bother caring if you were so big that you were like double, triple, or quadruple the number two site's traffic? Would you even bother looking at what they were doing to try and like, you know,
That is a weird.
um,
Yeah, that is a very interesting point. It's hard to imagine like when you are at the top. Like, what do you look at? What metrics do you look at when you are the competition to everyone else? That is an
exactly.
interesting point that I never really thought about with IGN specifically. It's like when you are the biggest site and you have no one who is above you or pretty much no one who's even close to you. Like, what do you look
Yeah,
at?
no one even challenges IGN. So why would they bother doing 4K capture? They don't have to. It's not
People.
going to affect them at all if they don't do it.
Jez or Miles, would you be willing to go on the Geeks and Gamers Gaming podcast? It gets a little bit crazy, but super fun. I've been
I
making my rounds,
don't
so
know that podcast.
I don't honestly think I've listened to it though. So if you want to send me a link on Twitter at Miles Dompier, I'll definitely check it out because I've been hitting the circuit, making my rounds.
I'm just getting some food, some nat meat.
Getting some nat meat. All right. So Sony is one of only a handful of companies that have a coordinated global ad contract with IGN's parent company, Ziff Davis. Coincidence? I don't know. Premature
So
procrastinator with the tinfoil hat on. I'll have to do some digging on that.
it's it's interesting, you know. It's I would think if our company came to us and said Microsoft's bought a load of ad space from us, that wouldn't affect editorial because the part of our business that handles the ads and stuff is completely separate from editorial. No one
Yeah.
on Windows Central has ever come to me and said, we need you to write about this in this way. Like I can literally write anything I want about anyone I want, and that's totally kosher. So like, I don't think that anyone at IGN is there telling them to write nice things about Sony just to maintain a marketing deal. But at the same time, I don't know, because I do know that, for example, our sister site imore.com, um, they cover Apple, and I know from talking to people who used to work for iMore that Apple, if you're mean to Apple, if you're a YouTuber and you say nasty things about Apple or criticize Apple, they will cut you off. They will cut you off, and they won't bring you to their shows. They won't give you their press releases. You'll be the last to know any news, and they'll make it hard for you. So like, that's why, like, in the Apple YouTuber circuit, very rarely are there people that will go out their way to criticize Apple, because Apple can be like really nasty to you if you do that. Um, you know, for example, Linus Tech Tips, he'll never be in Apple's good books because the guy's flaming them 24/7 because he doesn't care.
He doesn't give a damn, which is refreshing to see. Because I've heard of companies being kind of unfair and kind of spiteful when it comes to negative press, which is unfortunate, and that's not really the way it's supposed to be designed. But there's obviously proof that exists. So Robitech is giving us a thumbs down because Jez isn't on camera. I hope you're happy, Jez. He's smashing that dislike button.
Well, that's just not very nice, Roby.
Yeah, Roby, I thought we were cool. What happened to us?
Yeah, Roby.
And yes, that is Mega Man and Zero behind me, because I'm a man of distinguished tastes.
I wouldn't even know how we'd get my camera onto the stream.
We can do it
if you're streaming.
We can definitely do it if you want. I have a way. Basically, we'll have to use a remote video app, but I can just set it up so it only captures your face, and then I can make you a little text frame and then put you below me. If you want to show off that sweet, sweet face to these fellow gamers.
I don't, but something to think about.
Well, maybe they would have sent us three Xbox Series X's, Jazz. Okay. There's a question.
You should be in the UK. They're sending Matt and Zach them.
What about our American coverage, bro? What about your boy out here we're Windows Central Gaming Worldwide, not Windows Central Gaming UK. What's up? Where's our US love? I'm from Seattle. I can't get a little piece of home. What's up?
Yeah, but you abandoned Seattle, didn't you?
Abandoned Seattle?
You abandoned Seattle.
Was I? Oh, dang. Did Phil text you that?
Oh, man. We've now got a storage crate, by the way.
So we're at 227 viewers. We're still a little short of the 5,000 I was hoping for, but I appreciate you all hanging out with us here. A super chat hype from DMCR, just $5, no question, no comment, just cold hard cash, respect, bro.
Thanks, buddy. Jess needs to unplug his Connect from One X and use that for cams. Man, I think my Connect is in Germany. I ain't seeing that again.
I still have my Connect in a closet somewhere because they had the adapter available for a very brief period of time, and then it just disappeared into the ether. So my Connect has just been dead in a box for years.
Yeah, I blame Roby.
Yeah, I do too. Boom, bum, bum, bum. I turned off system sounds, but they're still going off, and it's driving me bananas.
Use a higher tier tool.
Yeah, we need to kill certain bugs so we can make the upgraded hammers and axes and stuff like that. But killing the bugs is hard. Killing the bombardier beetles, damn.
Bombardier beetles. Actually, the bombardier beetles are pretty tough.
Yeah, they're pretty brutal. They basically changed it so their hits don't do as much damage initially, on impact, but they do way more damage over time. So the poison effect now is super brutal.
I suppose you need the poison armor to fight them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
What happened to the Xbox Two podcast, Jez? Says Jerry Star. Nothing, man. We're going live in a couple of hours.
Yeah, pretty much back
We're
to
still
back
doing-
podcast for Jez today.
Yeah, I'm doing back-to-back podcasts today. Not that this is sort of like a gaming stream / podcast thing. But, I'm still doing Xbox Two. Man.
Xbox 2 still going strong. Randall
So
fraud
are we
every
actually
day
switching days
strays
for this?
further from God. On officially for Saturdays, right?
Robbie wanted to move. Wanted us to move the show to Sunday.
The Lord's
he
Day?
Can, yeah, because he can join us on a Sunday.
Oh, but he
But
can't
not
join
on
us.
Saturday.
Not on Saturday. But he's here in the chat. He can't join us.
He is
in game.
He is
but...
here in the chat. So I think Robbie's just making excuses.
Okay, fair. I see. Got time to hang out in the chat, but don't got time to join us. Okay.
Jez, tell us secrets. I haven't got any secrets at the moment. I'm fresh out of secrets.
But I saw Phil Spencer tweet that they're buying Ubisoft. I saw like I'm in this like Xbox group, and somebody literally shared a screenshot like using it as proof of Phil Spencer basically confirming that Ubisoft and Splinter Cell are going to be Xbox exclusives. And then I went to Phil Spencer's Twitter feed and like found the evidence that he'd never tweeted that and had to share it because come on. 2 minutes of fact checking could have saved you some embarrassment.
Man, this game's still kind of buggy with the multiplayer construction.
Yeah, they've been making some improvements to it, but it's still definitely janky. My biggest like praise of them like bug fixes that annoyed the hell out of me was grass would still grow up through foundations. So you would build this house and you would have everything laid out and grass would be coming up through the foundation of your house. And it's like, come on.
Oh, they actually fixed that then?
They actually fixed that, yeah. And now Robitech's creating new accounts to thumbs down. Come on, dude.
Oh, man. Robitech's punching down. Robbie, did you include our entry conditions into Gleam? If you've done that, I can make the article for your giveaway, buddy.
Ooh.
Jez, did you test out Evil Within 2's uncapped frame rate? I actually didn't. I'm not sure if Evil Within is actually unlocked for me to play yet.
Oh really?
Oh no, Robbie, you gotta put the entry conditions in first, man.
Memorable nut? Hi, how's your shoulder? It's
because the article will be like front loaded with hits. Well, we can do it at the same time. I'll write the article and then tell you when it's ready to go.
Do you own so with the preview stuff, are they giving you certain games that you can play, or is it just pulling up your library?
Well, the way it works right now is we have access to a growing pool of games as Microsoft's team verifies that they don't explode the console. Funny story, when Microsoft shipped me the Xbox Series X, the console they gave me was actually on an internal build, which had all the games unlocked.
Oh God!
So
on purpose or accident?
I think that was no.
Oopsie daisy.
Yeah, it was an oopsie daisy. So like I had access to the full library of games on the Xbox Series X, and every game I tested was pretty much flawless. So but I think they're just like being extra cautious and like double verifying that there's not going to be any unforeseen consequences. But yeah, it's it's just a matter of time, I think, before the rest of the games get unlocked, because I think they are pretty much all ready to go. But yeah.
What would be awesome is if 343 would drop a Halo Battle Royale game for the launch of the Series X.
Halo Battle Royale, didn't they say they weren't going to do that?
They weren't going to do. I think I've talked about this previously too. I think we'll see an updated version of Warzone a way bigger scale version of Warzone that kind of
Yeah,
fills
that'd be
that
pretty
void.
cool.
But yeah, they've said they're not going to do like a traditional like only one survivor type battle royale game. But give me a 100 player Warzone. That's what I want to see on the Series X.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
We have to wait
Robbie, get
2
on there.
minutes. Yeah, let's do it. Where is that? Come on, who do I got to call?
Robbie works at 343.
Roby.
Did you not know this?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did know that actually. Yeah, Roby, what's up? Give me answers right now. Or at least
Robbie Tech in the chat runs 343 Industries.
or at least push the message along that needs to happen. If they're gonna delay Halo Infinite, they might as well push it out long enough till we get the 100-player Warzone mode.
Dude, I think I'm like desynchronized from the server. I can't do anything. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
People want to say Microsoft buy up Bug Snacks.
Yo, you know, people be clowning on Bug Snacks, but that game looks fire. Say what you will about the graphics, but that game looks weird as hell, and I'm here for it. I have a feeling that's actually Silent Hills. That's my conspiracy theory. Is that
Bug Snacks is
Bug
Silent Hill?
Snacks is Silent Hills. Mark it. Bookmark this clip.
Wow, that's funny.
And if I'm right, I want $10,000 cash, Jez.
$10,000? That's a lot of money, man.
10,000 USD. If I'm right, if Bug Snacks is Silent Hill, those are my demands.
Right, I need a weapon. That's what I need. So what weapons exist in this game?
We got spears.
Right, spiky sprig, thistle needle. Right,
We
let's
gotta
get
kill
some thistles.
ants. We gotta kill warrior ants, don't we? We want like the ant club.
Yeah. Ant club. Man, my game is totally messed up on my screen now.
What's it look like on
Candy
your screen?
cornlet? Oh.
Oh yeah, they added candy corn because it's Halloween.
Okay, so there's candy all over the floor now.
Wait, what? I don't. I'm looking right next to where you are. I see no candy at all.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't pick it up.
I can't pick. Yeah, I don't see it.
Oh god, I've attacked a worker and I'm gonna die because it's lagging.
Oops,
so
I just
bad.
hacked you in the back. I'm sorry. Sorry, Jez. Yeah, the whole concept of grounded is such a brilliant idea that I'm honestly shocked we haven't really seen. Like, I don't know. This isn't going to be an obscure throwback, but do you guys remember Twisted Metal? I don't think it was called Mini, but there was like a Twisted Metal game that was a spin-off where you were basically Hot Wheels cars. Like that's what this game reminds me of in terms of just like weird super 90s kind of nostalgia.
You dead?
I'm dead. We got 328 viewers in the chat. Oh my goodness, we close to 5,000, y'all. We hitting 5,000.
Oh my god, we exploded.
That's welcome.
Hello to all the new peeps in the chat.
If you're new to the channel, smash that like button, subscribe, and then throw a dab in the chat.
Throw a dab. Nah, you don't do a dab.
Come on.
You don't have to.
I want to see 328 dabs in the chat. Let's go.
All of a sudden, 100 people stop watching.
Yeah, just go on. And if you leave, I respect that.
Man, how do you repair stuff in this? I can't even remember.
Dude, I'm so out of the loop in this game right now. Like, I probably should have played last night before we dove back in, so I knew what the hell I was doing. Mario's saying only 4,650 more. That's the spirit. That's the positivity I want to see in this chat. Jez laughs at 5,000, but if we get to 5,000, Jez also has to give me 10,000 USD.
You dead again?
I'm dead. I need to heal. I need to make some bandages. I keep like staying at one hit and just rolling with it. Well, we got a couple dabs. We got 2. I just need 375 more dabs.
Damn.
All right, thanks, Jez. I respect you and I appreciate you. I just want you to know that. that no
I
matter
appreciate
what
that,
Reset
buddy.
Era says, I think you're a pretty cool dude.
I try. Ugh.
I would fight Reset Era for you, Jez. Just so you know.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Hey,
I think
teamwork
it'd
makes
be
the dream
it wouldn't
work.
be much of a fight, you know. But I want to find
Dab,
a
you
thistle
cowards.
tree.
Must be Colin. Yes. We're at 416 now. What's happening?
I
What
have
is up,
no idea.
everybody?
I have no idea
We
what's
appreciate you
going
hanging out
here.
on this blessed Saturday. This is Xbox Chaturdays for all the new peeps. If you're just tuning, Jazz, I'm sorry, I'm down again. Uh,
Oh my god.
just
Can't
you know what?
believe
Just
anymore.
let me die. I deserve it. Just leave me for dead.
Roby says it's because he's there.
How many
you
how many
say,
fake
are
accounts did you
you...
make, Roby? Jesus.
Yeah. I think Roby's boosting the algorithm or something. If we get like celebrity YouTubers in the stream, does it like bump us up the
Yeah, it
algorithm
just
or
throws
something?
up the. Okay, thank you. I made bandages. I actually need to use them now so I can live.
I need to get Mr. Mobile to jump in the stream then.
Where's my boy? Where's Ninja? I sent him
Ninja.
a DM. He's not in the chat though.
Oh dear. Where's the thistle? Where's the thistle plant? I really want to get
Oh,
some
okay. So
spikes.
it's in the kind of dried up area. You'll see the big purple flower like sticking up out of the ground.
Big purple flower. I suppose I could. Oh god, that's an anthill. I don't want to go in there yet. Or do I?
Or do you see water? Your boy's thirsty. Your boy needs a little sip.
Your boy needs to learn to play and get good. I thought you were like a Dark Souls pro and you're
Bro,
getting
I'm a Dark
wrecked
Souls
by
pro, not a grounded
worker
pro.
ants right now.
I'm getting slapped around by ants. You're right.
Jazz doesn't slum with Ninja. Mr. Mobile is better than Ninja, to be
That's
fair.
that's confirmed. Mr. Mobile is a legend. Also,
He's a legend.
also part of the future
Legendary.
fam, the future army.
Yeah. Oh, I found a thistle, but it's right next to a bombardier bee. Oh, I know that's a stink bug.
Ooh, yeah, there's lots of stink bugs over here. Man, I need water. I need a sip, Jez. I gotta run back. I need to find a little soda can or something. I'm getting.
Man. Oh my god, the stink bug just. Oh my god, the stink bug just wrecked ants, a load of ants with a gas cloud.
Yeah, the stink bugs are brutal. The stink bugs are gnarly. I have to cheese them every time. Like, trying to fight them with melee is just ridiculous. Especially if you don't have, because you need to kill them to get the poison gear, so the first few is just brutal. But I'm getting rocked by worker ants, so I don't know. Maybe I just completely suck at that.
Oh, I was miles away. Come on.
Are you Oh, I gotta go, Jez. I'll be just on the outskirts in case I need to come res you, because it's happening. It's gonna happen. I'm just watching the action.
Oh my god, I got one shot.
Oh no. Okay. Okay, is he just gonna camp your body? Oh god, no. Please.
Man, fighting those things with the latency is just like really tough. You
Okay.
can't block.
I think I can cheese it. Hold on, Jess. How much time you
Have
got?
Phil retweet the stream, use your powers.
How many seconds you got left, boy?
15. Just rush in, man. Rush in. Enjoy the stream, guys. Jez, you've mentioned before that Game Core isn't ready yet. Is that going to affect the development of Series S and X? I don't know. I don't know if
Got you, boy.
I don't know what Game Core necessarily adds to the mix over oh wow. Oh, never mind. I don't know what Game Core necessarily. I was bugged. I was stuck in blocking motion.
Yeah, I saw your arm up by your face.
Yeah, I was stuck. I couldn't move. I don't know what Game Core necessarily adds to the mix that improves game development. Beyond making game development more streamlined between Xbox and PC. So like, if you're making a game for Xbox and PC, if you build it using Game Core, even more of the APIs are shared across the platforms. That's my current understanding of it. I've been told that Game Core is more Win32 like, rather than UWP like. As we all know, UWP's uh, weird, and I don't even know what Microsoft really thinks of it as anymore. But um, from what I've been told, game developers prefer GameCore, what they've seen of it. But I also think GameCore's not ready yet. Basically, GameCore replaces the Xbox One development environment. So the Xbox One development environment is called ERA, which is sort of like a nickname. It stands for Exclusive Resource Access, and it refers to the fact that your app has exclusive resource access on Xbox One while it's running. Um, long story short, the Xbox Series consoles have both ERA and GameCore, which is why backwards compatibility works, because it needs ERA to make backwards compatibility work. However, future games will be built using GameCore rather than ERA, and presumably will be more streamlined across Xbox and PC for things like ray tracing and for things like making it easier for developers to target multiple SKUs with a single code base. Woo!
Oh, there we go. Dang, the
Complicated
gauntlet.
stuff.
There we go. Question answered. Question answered. Jez, Robitex being mean. He's saying Phil would retweet, but I don't have the gaming skills. And that's the only reason Phil's not sharing this. I'm not good at gaming.
Wow. Roby, do you even play games anymore? You just build PCs all day.
He's hoping one day he can build a PC that's good enough to make him a good gamer.
Roby's trying to build a PC that's like 400 hertz, so
oh my, 400 hertz?
It can shoot
8K 400 hertz?
It's a ladybug. There's a bugged ladybug on top of this rock.
Okay, I think we might be able to cheese it. Let's.
Well, what the hell are you trying to do? A plunging attack.
What do you guys think about the initiative? Think we'll see a trailer this year? Well, according to the Mexico event, we'll definitely see the initiative's new game, but I don't know. They've been.
Is that event even real?
I don't think that list of what is at the event is real. I still think there's going to be some sort of digital fan event, like the week that the Xbox Series X comes out. But I don't know. Like the initiative's been very weird because they've been talking about the initiative for so long at this point, but we still have no idea officially what they're working on. There's been a lot of rumors, obviously, the Joanna Dark or the Perfect Dark Universe game, but we don't know officially what they're working on.
No, we don't. And also the initiative's like a brand new studio, so they're kind of like they're still hiring.
They're still like hiring major people in major positions.
Yeah, stealing Naughty Dog devs left, right, and center.
That's right.
I think it's like the promise of less crunch, maybe.
I've heard reports of that too. Like a lot of the people who, like, obviously Naughty Dog games are critically acclaimed, but it's been this consistent thing where every time a game is getting ready to come out from that studio, there's a ton of reports about not ideal work conditions. And you see a lot of big people leaving immediately after a game ships, which is probably not the best to see for morale. Like when the head person of your studio leaves after a game because they just are over the conditions, it's probably not a great environment.
But, you know, I don't know the full reality of why people are leaving Naughty Dog for the initiative.
Could just be a fat paycheck. They could just be like, hey, you guys do great work. You want a fat paycheck? Because we got the money right now to spend. So could be that.
It could be the game they're making, you know. Maybe like they're doing something super ambitious that no one's ever done before, or I don't know.
Yeah. Word of mouth gets out quick in the industry, so I'm sure a lot of people on the inside kind of know what's going on.
They were calling it like a quadruple A game.
But yeah, isn't God of War a quadruple A? Isn't that where the quadruple A term started?
I have no idea.
I don't
but-
remember like I forget what the first game I saw that used that phrasing, but I was just like, dear God, quad A.
Quadruple A.
This wasn't the whole
Most
like
of the world's
analogy like
quadruple A.
baseball. Wasn't that where triple A came from to begin with?
I have no idea.
There's no quadruple
How's that
A
used in baseball?
like major leagues compared to like double A.
Oh.
So that's what I always thought the analogy was based on, was baseball. So when you start throwing out stuff that doesn't even exist in baseball, it doesn't really even work anymore. It's just silly. Just some marketing hype. Yeah, Jez, do you know, or has it been made official, like what games are launching this holiday that will use the Xbox Velocity architecture for sure? Because even Gears 5 isn't. It's going to be optimized, but it's not going to be using some of the like Xbox Velocity architecture, for example.
Yeah, I think there's a possibility that some of that stuff is tied to Game Core, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe because you got to remember, if a game's built for ERA, if a game's built for ERA, it's not expecting Xbox Velocity architecture because, you know, it's expecting a mechanical hard drive. If it's built for ERA, it's because it's designed to work with a mechanical hard drive, not an SSD. So maybe Game Core unlocks the Xbox Velocity architecture features. I don't know. And that's pure speculation. You know, I'm not a dev. I'm sure, like, maybe one day if I interview Jason Ronald or something, I'll put these questions to him. But
yeah, because
as of right now, I have no idea. Man, I really need to eat something. My dude is dying.
I'm constantly dying in this. Because the Medium is one of the few games that will not run on Xbox One that's launching with the like around the console. So I'm wondering if that utilizes it. But
well, this is what I heard. So I don't know for sure, but this is what I heard. That Falconeer and the Medium are the first two games using Game Core.
Oh,
and
okay.
In a sort of beta version of it.
Okay.
So
because those two like games have been the showcase of the hardware and like the tech. Like those two teams have been the most vocal about like the Xbox Series X versus the S versus the Xbox One. Like when I sat down with the guys from the Medium to talk about the differences between the Series X and the S, like they had a lot of insights. So it seems like they were one of the few people who have actually actively been developing on these kits, whereas a lot of people haven't even seen like the Xbox Series S kit necessarily yet.
Yeah, it's well, that ant's stuck in the web.
Oh, the ant's stuck in the web. Oh, I see the grass moving slightly in the distance. Oh my!
I don't think I've seen that before. Ant being stuck.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
look,
web.
he's pulling.
The ant's
and it
also
springs.
ignoring the web. Yeah. Oh well, the ant doesn't give a crap about the web. He just walked away from it. What a badass. Man, this is so annoying. There's all these candy cornlets everywhere. I can see them, but I can't pick them up.
That's annoying to me because I want to see the candy corn. Because I'm team candy. Where do you stand with candy corn, Jez? That's a very divisive topic that we should probably discuss because people need to know.
I've never had any.
You've never had candy corn?
I don't think
Not
they really
once?
do it in the UK.
What weird candies did the UK have for Halloween?
Man, we barely even do the trick or treating thing in the UK.
Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. Rip.
Just too dangerous.
just leave my body. Just Blondie but Geeky saying you're lucky that you've never had candy corn. I'm a big candy corn fan, I must say. I will stand for candy corn. It gets a bad rap. I don't know why people hate it. It's just colored sugar, like all good candies should be.
So you're telling me there's no corn in candy corn?
There's zero corn. It's shaped like corn and kind of sort of looks like corn. Kind of vaguely like kernels of corn. Like if you took corn on the cob and pulled all the individual kernels out and made that a sweet treat, that is candy corn.
Mm. Oh, that's interesting to know.
I'm just gonna hold X to give up.
Britain doesn't have Halloween culture like America does. Like, because it's not really in a lot of British cities, pretty much all British cities, it's not safe for kids to go around trick or treating at night.
Mm.
So, so most don't. Sometimes you get like kids being escorted by their parents around, maybe. Um, I'm sure there are like rich neighborhoods that maybe do it, but definitely in my town, it's very rare. Maybe you get like one or two a year,
Okay.
maybe. Last year we got none.
Oh dang.
This year we'll probably get none because of COVID.
That's yeah. This
Um,
year in particular is going to be very weird. I don't really know what to
but
expect.
where Halloween culture does thrive in the UK though is universities and colleges because everyone, it's an excuse to dress up half naked and have a
Man,
party.
now we're talking. Now we're talking. Ah. Well, I'm gonna
So
start. I'm gonna open it up to some questions here because I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up because my shoulder's starting to
yeah, we
bother me
should
a
wrap
little
it up.
bit.
Yeah,
So
let's wrap it up with some questions.
let's hit
Drop
us
your
with the
questions in the chat and let's
questions.
get out of here.
Again, if you haven't subbed already, it goes a long way to help out this little channel we're growing over here. And yeah, also wanted to point out one of our newer videos we did, which obviously a lot of the folks here probably already know everything you need to know about the Xbox Series X, but we put up a video that was kind of designed for like your friends and family, like folks who are maybe interested but aren't going to spend the time to do a bunch of reading and research. We made a nice convenient video about 5 minutes that basically covers all the key details on the Xbox Series X. So if you have anyone in your life that's interested, that's like a cool kind of convenient thing that we whipped up. B2. Does accessories like PS4 controller adapter to X1 work on the Series X? I don't know. Jez, have you tried using a PS4 controller on your Series X?
I haven't.
Oh.
I do actually have an adapter somewhere. Sorry. I do actually have an adapter somewhere, so I could give that a try.
Okay, we'll test it. We'll
Leave that
get
one
back
with
to you.
me.
Yeah. When will Flight Sim come to Xbox Series X? I'm expecting probably early 2021. What about you, Jess? Have you heard any
Yeah,
inklings of like a specific window?
I haven't heard a specific window, but that's another game that I wonder if they're waiting for GameCore for.
So I could see that like spring, because there's probably a lot of optimization they need to do on the control scheme front
Yeah, that's
for
true.
console. So probably not as quick and easy as some
Well,
other
you
ports.
don't really play Flight Simulator with the mouse and keyboard.
That's true. So I guess if they just do stick support and like integrate it for controllers.
Tell me, does my Legacy Wii controller work with it? Probably not. Jez, how's that Gears mousepad? It is really awesome, and I'm glad I bought it. Miles, did you see this?
How much more of a gamer did that make you on a scale
Well,
of 1 to
my
10?
kill death ratio in Overwatch just skyrocketed after I bought
More than
this.
200% increase to my KD ratio after buying the
Yeah,
RBG gamer.
yeah, my APM in StarCraft doubled.
Okay, yeah.
So
Can we get
yeah.
that some testimonies for those guys? Can we get that in writing for them?
Yeah, I get that in writing for Razer, but I had to buy this, man. It was on sale for Prime Day. I bought for those who don't know, I bought the Razer Goliathus mouse mat, Gears of War version. So it's like got the Gears of War design on it, and then a big strip light around the perimeter. It's a mouse mat with lights in it. Like, what's not to love, you know?
That's very true. You know, I think it was pretty dope. Jez, how does Dark Souls 3 work on the Series X? Have you tested it? Is it still 900p locked to 30 FPS?
I actually don't own it, so I haven't been able to test it, and I don't really want to spend $60 to try it.
It's
So
I'm gonna go ahead and almost guarantee that it's still 900p and 30 FPS because From Software is not the best about updating their games.
well, the thing is, some games that have those frame rates unlocked, like Monster Hunter's frame rate was unlocked, which is why it hit 60 on the Series X because it was totally unlocked.
Dark
And I
Souls
think
3
like
is locked to 30.
it is locked. Okay,
Yeah, it's
well,
locked to 30. So I'm hoping that's one of the ones that gets the magical like backdoor kind of optimization, but deep down I know it's probably not gonna happen.
yeah. I
Rip.
suppose we'll just have to wait and see on that one.
I'll tell you for sure though. That's going to be one of the first games I boot
Yeah,
up on the Series X when it comes to back compat.
yeah. And Andy Kinsella asks, any thought what's going to happen re XO 20? There's obviously going to be an XO 2020, but there's also like the Game Awards coming up, and Microsoft. The industry likes to support the Game Awards because they do want to have their own Oscars.
Yeah,
And
like
let's face it, right?
legitimize it a
The
little
game,
bit to the average
yeah,
person.
yeah, they want to legitimize it because let's face it, the gaming industry is bigger than the movie industry, but for some reason it has nowhere near the same prestige.
Hmm.
I think like having a big awards show, whether you like Jeff Keighley or not, a lot of people don't like him because he clearly prefers PlayStation or whatever. It's fine to have a preference, but whether you like him or not, he's done more to legitimize gaming in the eyes of the wider world than anyone in recent years with that show.
Hmm.
So I do think Microsoft want to support that with some big announcements too. So I do think that there will be some juicy announcements maybe to keep the hype train going.
Hmm.
But I have no idea what they could be. A lot of I very rarely get leaks about games because um I just don't know. Like the studios just aren't as leaky as Microsoft corporate idiot. A lot of the leaks a lot of the leaks from Microsoft corporate is literally Microsoft uploading marketing materials to servers that aren't as secure as they think they are. It's not like there's someone at Microsoft actively leaking stuff. It's more oftentimes Microsoft just does it by accident
Oh
because
god,
they're
it's
such a
out.
big. Huh?
Oh god, it's out. All this information's out.
Yeah,
Oops.
yeah. I mean that's how the Xbox Series S leaked. They uploaded it to the wrong place, and
What?
someone found it. It wasn't an individual
It wasn't
who
a rogue agent
leaked
trying
it.
to sabotage the launch.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't a rogue agent. It was just someone uploaded it to the wrong place. So I don't know. But yeah, but even still, if I had leaks about games, I wouldn't want to ruin the announcements because surprises are way. It's way cooler to see it on a big stage like E3 or the Game Awards than it is to read it in some crappy blog.
Yeah, when you see some crappy off-screen footage of a game, like that kind of completely kills the initial magic of the reveal. So it's always kind of a
Yeah,
bummer when you find out about something you would normally be super excited about in that way, when it's just like a terrible screenshot and you're just like, oh, cool.
yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Um, any news on Hellblade 2? Well, like Harry Hoff says, the last bit of information we got about Hellblade 2 was that they were filming in Iceland,
Hmm.
which confirmed my trailer analysis from ages ago. I did a trailer analysis and I was like theorizing that the island that was depicted in the trailer was in fact Iceland, because you had the volcano and stuff, and the only place in Europe really known for volcanoes is Iceland. Kind of obvious, right? If you actually look at it. So yeah, that's the last bit of information. But
But
I
Iceland's
think
beautiful, man. Like, have you seen that? What is it? Fire Saga? Like a
I
kind of
haven't.
like surprisingly good, terrible movie with Will Ferrell on Netflix right now about this
Oh
Iceland.
yeah, I did. I did watch
I
that.
ended up.
The Eurovision
I
thing.
was really surprised by how good that was. But most of that movie,
It
I felt
was
like
good.
was
Yeah.
like a tourism ad for Iceland. There were so many ridiculously beautiful panning shots of Iceland in that movie.
Yeah. And the elves thing.
Oh yeah, the elf
But
thing was pretty good.
yeah, I really want to go to Iceland, but COVID.
Yeah, that's kind of
So
killing a lot of my travel plans this year. That's for sure.
what was the movie called? Blondie asks.
Fire
Fire Saga,
Saga.
right?
All right, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Will Ferrell movie
Will
about
Ferrell and
Eurovision Song
Rachel
Contest.
McAdams as well. They're like super adorable together in that movie. Which is
Yeah,
weird. It's weird to call
it's a
Will
fun
Ferrell
movie.
adorable, but
Yeah, it is a fun movie. Um,
all
so
right, what do we got
yeah, I
here?
think
Did you try remote play on the Series X? Like
How's the
console
latency
streaming?
on smartphone? Oh, console streaming. You know what? I actually haven't tried it yet. But I will. I'll try that, and I'll write an article about it next week. I'll put it in my
Yeah, I'm
schedule.
curious to see if it's any
So
different.
keep an eye out for that.
I don't know about you, but in my experience, like the console streaming for me has had way better latency than native xCloud streaming.
Oh yeah, it will, just because of the laws of physics, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But you know, it's I haven't tried the console streaming stuff. It should. I expect it to load faster because that's one of the annoying things with xCloud is you're literally waiting for the mechanical hard drive to load.
exactly.
And I do know that the server farm is being upgraded to Xbox Series X hardware next year.
Hmm.
They're currently in pre-production. The first Xbox Series X xCloud blades have come off production line last week actually. So that's being rolled out now. So hopefully, blah blah blah, that will roll out sooner rather than later. But dude, I think we're gonna wrap it up now because
It's about time.
I've got to do some washing up and get ready for the Xbox Two podcast with Rand
Ooh,
on Rand
that's
Alpha
right. Coming up.
19's channel
How that's like
afterwards.
what, an hour and a half from now?
Yeah, an hour and a half from now. Providing that Rand is actually doing it. I haven't heard from him today. I think he's a busy boy the last few days.
He's a busy lad. Cool. But yeah, no, thanks
Busy
so
lad.
much for everyone hanging out. Again, yeah, if you want to keep up to date with us outside of the stream, outside of YouTube, hit us up on Twitter. Blondie but Geeky was nice enough to drop our Twitter handles in there. And yeah, we'll catch y'all next Saturday.
Yeah, take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.